Sullivan Barrera never signed his contract and never wanted to face Beterbiev despite his public pretensions. Regardless of the reasons he could say, the truth is he was afraid of Beterbiev. We are very disappointed with the turn of events, and Artur is as well. Artur continues his training. We will ask the IBF to qualify him as a mandatory challenger, and we will wait for their decision. He's ready to face any kind of light heavyweight in the world. Those are the words of Yvonne Michelle, the promoter of light heavyweight contender Artur Beterbiev, following the news that Beterbiev's opponent for April 21st, Sullivan Barrera, has pulled out of the fight. Now, Beterbiev is an Al Haymon fighter. He's advised by Al Haymon, promoted by Yvonne Michelle. And Sullivan Barrera is promoted by Cafe Duva, Main Events. And this is not the first time that Cafe Duva and one of her fighters have pulled out of a major fight in a light heavyweight division, much to the disappointment of the fans. The other occasion, which is very similar to this one where it happened, is conveniently forgotten by a lot of boxing fans. But as I say, there are a lot of similarities between the two situations. In this situation here with Beterbiev and Barrera, the Haymon fighter in Beterbiev had won the purse bid. The fight was actually going to take place in Miami, which is full of Cubans, so that would have actually benefited Barrera. I'm not sure, however, which television network was going to be showing this fight. Perhaps it would have been on PBC. Perhaps it would have been on Showtime. I'm not sure. But whatever the case may be, Barrera and or his promoter Cafe Duva have decided to pull the plug. Now, the other time I'm referring to, which is very similar to this situation, is when another one of Cafe Duva's fighters, Sergey Kovalev, was supposed to face Adonis Stevenson. He was made the WBC mandatory despite the fact he held belts of other sanctioning bodies. The WBC made Kovalev mandatory for Stevenson. A purse bid was called, and Cafe Duva and Kovalev decided to pull out because a purse bid was called. So very disappointing. Again, a lot of people conveniently forget that happened, but that did happen. And again, Stevenson, being an Al Haymon fighter, would have probably won that purse bid against Cafe Duva, and therefore being able to have the fight on the network of their choosing. And this, to me, I don't know for a fact whether this is the reason why Barrera has pulled out of this Beterbiev fight, but I suspect it was the reason why, or at least one of the reasons why Kovalev pulled out of the Stevenson fight, because of this network situation. And I'm not convinced that Cafe Duva is contractually bound. Cafe Duva and Kovalev are contractually bound to HBO to the point where they can't fight anywhere else. Based on what Cafe Duva has said, it's more of like a relationship type of thing, more of a loyalty type thing. It's not necessarily they're contractually bound to HBO. This is the impression I get. I don't know this for a fact. It's more that they have a contract with HBO, yes, Sergey Kovalev. But many fighters who are contracted to certain networks still go and fight on other networks for certain fights. Their network usually gets a payoff for having the services of their fighter. To have him fight on a different network, that normally takes place. So fighters go over to other networks all the time to fight. But in the case of Cafe Duva and her fighters, they just don't seem to be doing it, and perhaps this is another case of that. Just like Sergey Kovalev against Stevenson, they refused to enter into the purse bid. In this case, they did actually go into the purse bid. Haymon and Yvonne Michelle won it. And as you see, Barrera's pulled out. I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to the fight. I wanted to see it. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Hopefully, they either find Beterbiev a good replacement for that date. It probably won't be that venue because, again, that was going to be full of Cubans in Miami, Florida. But now that Beterbiev's not fighting no more, I guess that venue is a no-go. It's a non-starter. So let me know how you feel about this disappointing news, people. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Who will Beterbiev fight instead? Or will he just get a straight crack at the IBF? I guess we'll find out in due course. Let me know how you feel. It's happening. I'm out.